Okay. Hello, everybody. Apologies for the delay in getting started here. We had a little adventure, but we're here, and there's only like a few people that have their cameras on. I would invite you guys to turn on your cameras if you'd be so willing. I love actually seeing you. Yeah, and my finger, I slammed it. I couldn't get in the door. I couldn't get the key to work. And then the way that I was holding the doorknob and the way that you open the door is not a recommended way to do that, because my finger got like completely squeezed in between the doorknob and the door jamb. It's not a very good design. We figured it out early on. And then I couldn't get it out. I was like, okay, that hurts like hell. Now, how do I get it out? Which way do I move the door to be less painful? So anyway, so I'm just icing it now. And running some stuff on it. But yeah, I love to see your faces. This is a call about bodies. Show your body. Come on, show your body. Even if you're not happy with your body. I'm happy with your body, so I'm happy with bodies. Yeah, thank you guys for turning your cameras on. It's just always so interesting talking to black boxes with white names, you know, it's like, okay. And if you can't, I get it, no problem. Yeah, so we're going to talk about bodies, and we called this, are you happy with your body? Which is kind of a, you know, big question for a lot of people, because for so many people, the answer is no. I just want to let my Helena know that I got in. And what else is possible? And the tools of access consciousness have changed just universes for me with my body. And I was, you know, I thought I was really happy with my body before I found access. And then I realized that there was just so much more that was available, and so much more that I could create with my body, and more intimacy that I could have with my body, and that I could include my body in everything and have a lot more fun with it. And it just, you know, it's changed so much. And one of the biggest tools, body tools, are the access consciousness body processes. And I've been doing a lot of classes. A lot of you guys know, I've been doing a lot of body process classes lately. And they've been absolutely amazing. I just did one in London yesterday, all day. We did two different processes. And so what the body processes are, in case you're not familiar, is they are a hands-on energetic, they are various hands-on energetic processes that when we like run them on the body, so much change occurs, so much space opens up. Our bodies actually begin to get acknowledged as what they are, not even who they are, but what these amazing bodies of ours are. And as we do that, that's where possibility really comes from with our bodies, and having the possibility of having joy with your body and being happy with your body. And I know, like in my, you know, journey with my body and with access consciousness, I really, I was relating to my body from such a place of what I call like kind of just this reality, like controlling it, and trying to do a lot of problem solving with it. When things would come up, it was like, here's the problem. Now I need to solve it. How am I going to solve it? Let me use my head. Let me use my brain, my mind. And that's really how bodies are related to on the planet, is they are a problem that constantly needs to be solved. And we're always in the solution to the problem that our bodies are. And our bodies have this incredible, they are this incredible energy, space, and consciousness of their own. They have their own consciousness. They have their own awareness. They know lots of things. They have lots of capacities. And when you treat like a brilliant organism as a problem that needs to be solved, you are limiting it so much and so dynamically. And so, so having a different perspective, a different point of view, a different sense with your body, of like, hey, you're pretty cool, what do you know? What you got for me, is it, that alone begins to change so much. And as that occurs, our bodies get happier, and we get happier with our bodies. We begin to have a greater sense of communion with them and presence with them and being with them. And it's amazing because to see, like with me, like I know as I explore this with my body and I just like be with it more and have more honoring of it and all of that, it's like the problems that I thought I needed to solve, they just change. They just go away. They just, kind of like my body just adjusts and becomes something greater. And this is also where our bodies can begin to really show us what they know, what they're capable of. So I didn't have like a huge agenda for this call tonight, other than I just love playing with bodies. And we are doing lots of body process classes. So it's also just an invitation to that. Like I'm traveling all over. I'm in Europe right now. I'm going to be in Prague on Saturday night doing a body class, and in the Netherlands on Tuesday and Wednesday doing body classes, and then at the castle in Italy, the Castello di Casalborgone in Italy on Friday, doing a body class all day, or next Friday, a week from Friday. And then a bunch of them in the US. We're going to be, I'm always doing them in my hometown in Boulder and Seattle and other places, Salt Lake City. And so, part of it is just the invitation to that, because those, like the class that we had yesterday was, put my ice bag in the sink. The class that we had yesterday was so beautiful. And the body processes are these energies that we get to gift our bodies. And we get to gift other bodies and gift each other, and like to have a day, some of the classes are 3 hours, they're in the evening. Some of them are a day, but to have this time to just give your body attention. You get on the massage table, somebody runs the process on you, you roll off the massage table all blissed out, and then you run it on them. And we chat, we do a lot of, like yesterday, there was just so much cool conversation about choice. And, we can talk about bodies, but we can talk about anything. Yesterday was like a choice class with body processes. So you never know how it'll show up, but I so love the space of these processes and these classes. And it was like yesterday, as the process like started to turn on, it was like, oh man, I'm home. I love these energies, and because they are like dynamically nurturing for our bodies, and we are not taught to nurture our bodies. We're taught to ignore them. And like I said, make them a problem. We're taught to, try to like handle them and manage them, to separate from them. And what would it be like? What would your life be like if nurturing your body was actually a priority for you? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, pod, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. What I just said, in case you don't know what that is, that weird thing, is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And it's just this amazing kind of like shortened version of a lot of different things that just basically delete the points of view that we have about a lot of things that keep our limitations in place. So you don't have to know how it works or what it is, but it just works. It's energetic. And so these processes are this moment where you get to nurture your body. And then what I've seen is that translates into so many areas of my life. I mean, like this, we're in this beautiful apartment in Prague. These are like chandelier, and it's so beautiful. And it's in this it's like right in the middle of Prague, and in the heart of everything here. And it's like, just, traveling, it's like, whenever I travel, especially nowadays, I'm staying in places that my body is really happy with. Because when I stay in places that my body is not happy with, my body's not happy. And when my body's not happy, I'm not happy. When my body's happy, then the money to pay for it and all of that kind of stuff, it shows up, because we can include our bodies in creation. So that, to me, that's part of being happy with my body, is actually going, hey, you show me what you desire and you help me create it, and let's go. That's a yes, and that's how I get to be happy with my body, and my body is happy with me. Is gifting my body these things that it would like to have, knowing that my body knows so much about what else is possible, and just how much greater things can be. And that's the beauty of our bodies, is they're like, things can be so much greater if we're willing to choose it. But so often our minds get in the way, and we're like, oh, I can't do that. I can't have that, and because of whatever, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, that's too much, blah, 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 blah. And if you are willing to include your body in the creation of your life and living, it will yield the most incredible things. It will gift you the most incredible things. It will show you what is possible with creation and living. And then you don't have to deprive yourself of all the amazingness that this planet has to offer. Which, so many of us do, because we think we need to, we have to, we should, in order to fit in. So what if you could be a hedonist? What if you could have pleasure as a priority? What if you could have the nurturance of your body as a priority? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, pod, shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. Oh my God, Patrick. I'm actually in the same town as little Patrick, who I've been like wanting to snuggle for many, many years. Well, he hasn't really been alive for many, many years, but since you were a little baby. So I'd like to reserve a snuggle with Patrick before I leave Prague, if that's possible.
You're sending you kisses, Heather.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay. Andy, you have a question?
Yes, I have a quick question, Heather, because I've taken so many of your body classes and we've been on a body journey, I think, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years now, 3 years for sure. But I just want to ask, because I've been wanting to do a half marathon for years, and I'm going to do one at the end of July, and when in Rocky Mountain National Park. And when when I talk to my body about that piece, because I mean that's a challenge, so to speak, like you and your ice skating and everything you've done with that, and you commit to it and you do it. So I'm committing to my body with that. Can you just speak to briefly the commitment versus the pushing of it, or the commitment, like the expectation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without making it significant and whatever.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the thing is that in this reality, when we like commitment is like, it actually means obligation. Yeah. So everywhere commitment means obligation rather than choice for the fun of it and creating the creation of greater. Will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, give it online, puck, shorts, boys, co-eds, and beyonds. And for me, like if I look at ice skating, for me, it's like, am I committed to it? Yeah, totally. I love it. 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 I miss it when I don't get to do it. And I'm also really committed to it, and there's a whole, I won't go into all of that because it's not really relevant, but like okay, let me just say what I'm committed to is what I'm creating with it, what I'm creating with my body with it. And it's not really about fitness to me. I do know that okay, so here's the thing. Bodies love to move. Bodies are designed to move. And this is a weird, sedentary world that we live in. People sit in front of their fucking computers on chairs. I don't even understand chairs. I do not get chairs. I'm like, who came up with this piece of shit? There's a few chairs that I've sat in my life that I thought were wonderful. And I think there's two that I can think of, and they were both velvet. So that's how I feel about chairs. So, but, because we just like this reality doesn't include bodies. Weirdly, it's so bizarre to think about that, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. So, and you have these, like, you've got fingers and wrists and elbows and shoulders and a spine and hips and knees and ankles and feet and toes, and like your body moves in the most amazing ways, and body, like, movement is actually a joy for bodies, and now if you have a lot of pain, you may not have that as a reality, but there's so many different ways you can move your body. And I dare say, like, you can use movement to heal your body, even if you have a lot of pain. So that's beyond the scope of this call, but so as I say that, it's like, so what are the ways in which your body likes to move? And for me, like, ice skating is so one of them. And part of why I'm so committed to it is because it's really got a massively steep learning curve. And the kind of movement that I want to do on the ice, I'm still not quite able to do. So I'm like, I'll get there in 5 years, I'll be able to do all that stuff I want to do. So I'm working on it, but so what is the type of movement that your body enjoys? And I don't, probably shouldn't even ask it like that, because I don't, it's not about defining it either. Cause I could wake up tomorrow morning and my body could be like, I'm done ice skating. And then that's fine. You know, like I will follow my body. In matters of my body gets to lead, you know, and that may be also a big piece of this is like, do you allow your body to lead in matters of your body? Because most people have such a need to control, because they're like, oh, well, if I let my body lead, it would be sloth-like, you know, or it would be slovenly, or it would be, but no, bodies don't actually like a lot of bodies don't like a whole lot of food. A lot of bodies don't like to lay around all the time. Like that's more mental laziness than physical laziness, you know? And I think, you know, I mean, you see people who, you know, they get into like a new fitness regimen or whatever, you know, and they start coming alive because they're moving their bodies every day.
And can I just say one thing too? It's like I sign up for these 5Ks, and I actually have to get myself out of bed and do them. But
Mhm.
once I'm in them and do them and done with them, I'm just like exhilarated.
Yeah.
And the
I'm,
fact that I commit to that, or I
yeah,
actually sign up, I mean, it's like I force myself to sign up for something, and then um it's just that interesting process of what happens in your head. Like, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. And then
yeah,
when you do it, you're like, oh my God, this is just so awesome.
totally. And that's the thing is like, and that's where commitment to me, like commitment comes in. I'm committed to the joy of embodiment. And, and so there are times where I make myself go to the ice rink too, you know, or I make myself do yoga or whatever. Like I'm on this 3-week trip right now. And in the past, I've gotten like, because there's so much going on when I'm in classes and, you know, there's all this, and I, you know, I want to get enough sleep and blah, 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 blah. And so in the past, I've like gone, you know, days without moving. I mean, to me, like for me, like 2 or 3 days without doing some sort of movement, like real actual movement is like really not, my body's not happy after, especially after like 3 days that I really don't do that anymore. Because my body is really not happy. And so like on this, you know, I guess I've been gone maybe like a week or so. I was like, I'm moving my body every day, like no matter what. And I just wake up when I need to, like, I'm like, I don't care how much sleep I get. That doesn't matter to me as much as moving my body every day. And, you know, like getting up really early and going ice skating or, you know, and I'm like a freak about, you know, like searching out ice rinks everywhere I go. You know, I've been harassing Marquetta to find me some here in Prague because I'm like, I can't read the websites. There's a lot of websites, but I can't read them. So, but, or just even doing like 10 minutes of yoga, you know, like just something, you know, and because I know it's not because, oh, I'm going to get fat or I'm going to blah. It's not about that. It's like my body must move. It loves to move. And there's lots of different types of movement too that I do. I mean, a lot of it is different types of yoga and skating and dancing sometimes, but yeah, it's like and this is where, you know, when you have like really kind of like, let's just say like quote unquote bad habits, right? Like that are ingrained with your body. You did, yay! You found it. I'm so happy. I was like, oh my God, I have to skate tomorrow. Yay. Um, so so I just got a very sorry, little distraction there. I went into, but you could just perceive that, like, see how happy my body is. I'm like, Like that's how I feel about skating. But like, what if you started asking for something like that? What if you were just like, hey, buddy, like, let's do something that's really fun? Maybe I mean, I love like silk yoga, like the aerial yoga or pole dancing. I've never done pole dancing, but I know a lot of people love pole dancing or whatever, like just, and try shit on, like, see what, like you might be like, well, that was not that great, whatever, who cares? You had a new experience with your body, but when we're committed because there's a should there, it's like, I have to have a certain amount of muscle mass, or I have to, whatever that is, like, that is not enough of a motivation for a humanoid to choose. It's like, perceive, like you're laying there in bed and you're like, oh my God, my body's going to feel so good if I do this. And then just get the fuck up, just get out of bed. It's like, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, he does this a lot where he'll say, he'll like, when he shows people choice, it's, people are like, well, how do you choose? And he goes, stand up. It's like, okay, I just chose to stand up. Like, getting out of bed is no different. It's like, just get the fuck out of bed, And I know this very well because I love to lounge in my bed, but that's also something that also is yummy for my body. And then sometimes it's not, and then I'm like, okay, get out of bed, So, and our bodies require different things and enjoy different things. And different things at different times too. There are times where my body's like, no skating today, please, because maybe it's sore or whatever. So you got to listen. And Parisa was asking, I think it was, no. Oh, sorry. Pragya. I saw the P. I'm not able to listen to my body. How do I get into doing it? That is a great question. Thank you for asking that, because so many people, oh, Parisa has her hand up. So I was confused. That's a huge piece for people. And let's just say that listening to your body is not a destination. It's a journey. Like, it's greater and greater every day. And some days you fuck it up. I mean, I have stuff every day where I'm like, oh, my body wasn't too happy about that, but it's not, hello, Patrick. But it's not, but I mean, there's so many things I could say about this, but I guess, like, don't try to get it right. That's what I want to say about it, is don't try to get listening to your body right. Because when you do, you will go into computation and thinking and figuring and, all of the crazy shit we do. And your body will go bye-bye. Like, so one of the ways that you can actually start to out-create your mind is by actually paying more attention to your body. Like, when you, like, I learned, before I found Access Consciousness, I learned how to kind of like override my mind with my body and my awareness of my body. But it was something that I like developed over time, where I would just, I did this body of work that was body-centered psychotherapy. So it was a lot about listening to sensation in the body. And I was a movement teacher for a long time. I taught dance and yoga and stuff. So it was really, I've worked very dynamically with bodies for, I don't know, 25 years or something. And so when I was doing that stuff, it was like, my body became a resource for me, because I had to teach from my body. I had to, when I was doing therapy, like, my body needed to be included. But it was just this process of like just paying attention. I mean, the starting point is like, pay attention to sensation. I mean, that alone is just such a beautiful way to be present with, just like what you would like just how your body speaks to you, because your body speaks to you. What sensation is one of the ways that our bodies use to get our attention, right? If you have a lot of pain, you're going to pay attention to it, right? You're going to pay attention to your body. So so I guess those two things, like start to listen, pay attention to sensation, and, let your body, like invite your body to show you what it is, like what's true for it in that way, like through awareness and sensation. And don't have the need to get it right. Because if you need to get it right, you will get it, quote unquote, wrong, meaning there is no right or wrong. It's like, oh, that worked. That didn't. And even with like food, it's like certain foods work for me one day and then not another, so you got to stay in question, and this is like this ongoing beautiful journey that we can have with our bodies, of creating more of that sense of kindness with them and communion with them. And, and when we include the movement and all of those things, it's like, that's where we really begin to gift to the organism of our bodies. That is just it's such a different space being with your body in that way than it is, trying to control it and being like, I'm going to work this muscle here to, change the fat ratio. And, like, that's just like, that's way too boring. Like our body, we don't have to do that. That's human reality with bodies. Parisa.
Hello.
Hi.
So I was wondering if you could speak a bit to like having always going back to like a story of why you can't with your body. Like,
Stop it.
yeah. 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 I always go back to like my mom and dad did this and this when I was a kid, and this went wrong. And it's like a reason and justification for like, I don't even know, just everything.
Yep, it is. Yeah. And, I actually mean it, like, so, and my joke is that stop it is the most advanced tool in access consciousness. And it's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of not, because when you have something going on and you're willing to just fucking stop and do something else, you have a level of choice that most people aren't willing to have. When you're like, that's a story, not doing it, because one of the things that people do with access is, we have these amazing clearings, right? And so people are like, I'm going to clear, and I'm just going to clear, and I'm going to keep clearing, and I'm just going to do lots of clearing. And, and the clearings are amazing at what they create and what you can get to with clearing. And sometimes when you don't have choice and you feel like you can't stop it or whatever, you do want to use clearing to get there, because they move all the shit out of the way that doesn't allow us to have that level of like agility with choice, basically. But if you can, and this is a thing, like I remember like realizing this at one point and going, oh my gosh, the way that I get out of judgment of me is by not judging me when I'm judging me. Captain Obvious, right? It was a profound moment, let me tell you. We have this saying, we say, you get it when you get it. That was one of those, oh, oh, that's how that works, because so often what we do is we're like, at some point, I'm going to magically not judge myself anymore. I'm going to clear so much that judgment will just exit my world, but it's a choice. It is always a choice. And so telling yourself a story, it's in a way, it's sort of a form of judgment, kind of, but telling yourself a story it's a choice. to take yourself out of choice, you know. It's a choice to give yourself a reason and a justification for not choosing. And in that moment, that's when you gotta like put on your big girl panties and be like, you know what? I'm not gonna fucking tell myself that story right now. What do I know? What's true for me?
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's like no need to get to the root of it or like figure out exactly what's going on.
That is one of the coolest things about access consciousness is there is no need to get to the root of it.
Mm,
I mean, occasionally
yeah.
you get to the root and it's really valuable to have that information and it changes a whole bunch of other things. But that's why access is so fast, because you don't need to get to the root of anything. You don't need to understand why something is there. That's a psychological construct. But with access, you choose something different and something different shows up, period. Doesn't matter why you were choosing what you were choosing. Who cares? That's done. What are you going to choose now?
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, like the body processes facilitate a lot of that. Like they create this different reality. I mean, here's a case in point, you know, because like I had all these physical things that used to go on with my body. And I was like, you know, I was just always looking for the solution to the problems of the pain and the digestive stuff and the allergies. And I just had all this, I had like really, for a while, I had very, very severe back pain. And I couldn't put my shoes on in the morning. It was like excruciating. And I was like a movement teacher and a yoga teacher, and I was really fit and blah, 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 you know, but I'd wake up in the morning and be like, like in so much pain. And there was one body process. I went to an advanced body class with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access. And there was one facilitation that he did with me, and then one body process that we ran in that class, and the pain was gone forever. I did not need to know why it was there. I did not need to know what my limitations were that were causing this horrible situation, you know. I did get some awareness about what was going on, you know, energetically with me, but it was sort of just bonus, you know, it wasn't necessary to change it. Ran the body process, you know, did a few clearings with Gary. It was gone. Never, ever came back. And my body actually woke me up the next morning and it was like, take me for a run. And I did. And then I started running again. And so, but that's right there is like case in point. It's like you run a process, shit changes. You run bars, which is also a body process, shit changes. You make a different choice, shit changes. Do you need to know why? Nope. You don't. Do you need to know what you were doing before? No. Do you need to forgive your parents? Nope.
That's amazing. Yeah. That gives me a lot of clarity. Thank you.
Cool. I'm so glad because I know, you know, we've had a lot of conversation, you know, you've done a bunch of classes with me and stuff, and we've had a lot of conversations about various things. So yeah, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that.
And I just wonder, like, what would it take to be able to listen to my body more? Because I realized today that it is such a capacity that I have that I'm able to like block out and tune out all of the, I guess, like communication that I do have with my body. So it's not that it's not happening. So I'm like, wow, how potent am I? And I can change that. I can make a different choice. It's just about choosing it. So
You absolutely can. And it doesn't, I'm so glad that you're bringing this up because it doesn't like what you've done up until this very moment with your body has no bearing on what your choices are now and in the future. None. Nothing. You don't have to carry any of that with you. Now, that's also a level of choice and presence that's pretty dynamic. And, you know, some people have that available, some don't right now. And, you know, don't, and so everything that is, can we destroy and create it? Everything that brings up, right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, punch, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Because, you know, I would invite you to not be like, well, I don't have that available, so I can't choose it, you know. I'm speaking to everybody here, but so, you know, we love to justify why we can't. But what if you loved to choose more than you loved to justify why you can't?
Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. 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 So what have you guys been avoiding being that keeps you from the joy of choice and the joy of creation with your body, and in the joy of being a limited pile of poo? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, puck, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. Yeah. I don't remember what exactly. I think I said, what if you loved choice more than you loved something? I don't know if anybody wrote it down. We have to make a meme of that. I like it.
I'll put it in the chat because I wrote it down. One second.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, honey. That's great. Yeah. So, yeah. And so when it comes to being happy with your body, okay, so what if you loved to choose more than you loved to justify why you can't? Yeah. And everything that brings up and lets down, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, only, puck, puck, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And this is also like just a little moment about this is I started, there's some questions that we ask in Access of like, what do you love about this and what's the value of this? So I have really gone after some of my like prized limitations with those questions, you know, like those limitations that are like, my precious, I love him so much, you know. And just been like, okay, what do I love about this? Like, what do you love about never listening to your body? And what are you avoiding with that? And what are you defending with that? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, punch, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And what's the value of never listening to your body? What does it give you? It gives you something. Now, don't get distracted by that, because this isn't about now we're going to go into figuring out why, you know, it's not about that. But, well, let's just run the clearing. So what do you value about never listening to your body? And everything you're avoiding with that, and everything you're defending with that, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, pot, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And these are just some tools that you can use to like break some of that stuff up. You know, if you feel like you can't get to the level of choice that you would like to have, because, you know, choice is this ever expanding universe, basically, that we get to have if we allow ourselves to. It's this ever expanding universe. And we, it's that thing of, what if you love to choose more than you love to justify why you can't? It's like, you've got to be willing to be different. And in order to have choice as a reality, basically, and especially with your body, I mean, with anything really, but if we're talking about bodies here, right? So what if you could create your body from and with and as choice? And you could create your living with your body from and as and with choice. And everything that doesn't allow that, and everything you've decided that looks like, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, pod, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Yeah, and so, and the thing about, I mean, all the tools really, but about the body processes is they give us this different communion with our bodies. So they really facilitate the listening to your body, the being present with your body, the hearing the whispers of your body. They facilitate that while you lay on the table and relax into blissful yumminess, like you can sleep if you want to. That's something I also just love about Access, is like, get your bars run, get a body process run, fall asleep, go to class, fall asleep. You wake up a different person. It's that easy, and so, this, like, somebody recently, I heard, we've had these conversations in Access about asking for like 10 things that in a year would be a huge wow. And somebody said, having like bars or body process run or some sort of body work done every day. And I was like, I'll have that. So I chose it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to have that every day, and most days I do have something, I mean, and then I also, there's a lot of other things I do with my body too, like move and have, when I eat, it's always super yummy and like stuff that's really exciting for my body, like I listen and I gift my body. I'm a hedonist. I'm a self-proclaimed hedonist. If I'm going to do it with my body, for my body, it's going to feel fucking good. It's going to be fun, like none of this shitty food stuff, like the creation of living. Yes. Which is happening in this apartment tomorrow night in Prague. With what class do you have to stay awake? None. No class. With no class do you have to stay awake. Yeah, so the creation of living is also, if you guys are in Prague or you're coming or whatever, we're doing a creation of living class here tomorrow night in this beautiful apartment. Thank you, Parisa, for the questions. Take care. And it's a lot of this exploration of bodies and creation and hedonism and pleasure. And like we're going to be playing with amazing food and drinks and yumminess, and like exploring what it's like to be really present with your body as you play with those energies. And so I don't know exactly what it'll look like because I never do, but that's happening tomorrow evening in Prague. If you want to come, it's only live. You have to be able to like eat the food and touch the people and that kind of thing. But at some point, we'll do a 3-day creation living class. We had one scheduled pre-pandemic and we had to cancel it, but we will have one. What would it take to have one this summer? That would be awesome. So anyway, but yeah, with the body processes, it's like they dissolve the separation between you and your body. Like they really dissolve it, and they undo all these places where you've made your body human. where you've made it relevant, real, and true in human reality, in limited, boring, bodies don't exist reality. They undo that so that what is there can shine through, which is the energy, space, and consciousness of your body as this incredible creature, organism that knows a lot about a lot. Not just about like quote unquote body things, but your body knows a lot about creating money. Your body knows a lot about business. Your body knows a lot about relationships. Your body knows how to create sex that works for it, you know. But we have all these layers and layers of stuff on top that keep like sort of are these like, you know, barriers between you, the being, and your incredible body. And the processes undo that. They're the beginning of the undoing of that. So I think we'll actually wrap it up there. And just, you know, invite you to really receive the space of this and receive what it is that your body is, what your body is, you know, capable of, what it actually is. It's probably not what you think it is. And just, you know, like, I wonder, you know, what's possible with us and all of our bodies. And pragya, that is, if nothing gets created in my life, does my body not want to create anything, or I'm not listening to it? What do you know? And sometimes this is one thing I did want to say before. Sometimes choosing is like that thing where you're like, get the fuck out of bed, bitch. And you're like, I don't want to, you know. Sometimes choosing is like that. So it's not always like rainbows and unicorns, you know. Sometimes you got to kick your own ass and be like, if I'd like to have something different, I need to fucking choose something different right now. And then you do. And then you're like, oh, that wasn't so hard. And then you do it again. And you're like, oh, and then again and again. So sometimes you've got to be, you know, a meanie to yourself. Not really. It's actually being quite kind to yourself, but not, you know, not letting yourself be, you know, whatever, like avoid stuff, basically avoid stuff. And we have this new part of the clearance statement that includes all the stuff about avoiding and defending. And it's like you moving like universes more than we used to be able to get to, because we've added this new aspect of the clearing statement. And a lot of what goes on is the avoidance of things. You know, we avoid our bodies, we avoid things with our bodies. So I'm like opening a can of worms here before we leave, but there's just, you know, we could keep going for a long time. So I did want to also mention, we have, well, for one, come to the body classes. It'd be really fun to see you, squeeze you, you know. So again, Saturday night, Creation of Living tomorrow, Saturday night in Prague at the venue for the ESB. Whether you're coming to ESB or not, it's happening there, you can come. Tuesday night in Hillegom, Netherlands, Wednesday night in Eindhoven, Netherlands, and then all day the following Friday, so next week, in Castle Borgone at the castle. It's going to be very special. It's a small class. We only have room for 14. So please do sign up early if you're going to come to that. I do have space also after that for a 2-day super duper deep dive private intensive with somebody at the castle. And that is an amazing, like lots of body work and processing and just super life-changing moment for people, where we kind of just take a look at everything in your life and include your body in all of it. So it's really cool. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is I did a call series in the winter in January called Body Show Me. I've done it a few times, but this was a really different one because it's part of the writing of my book. we're publishing a Body Show Me book. So there will be a book at some point that you can read. But the series was a really amazing dive into really listening to your body and having a different space of communion with it. So we can send you guys the link for that after this too, if you want to buy that. Those calls are available. So lots of stuff, lots of possibilities. So yeah. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you translators for translation into Italian and Czech. And yeah, thank your bodies. Like, so whatever whether it's night or day where you are, what if you could spend some time today or tonight, being really present with your body and just like, maybe put your hands on your body, just give it some kindness. Let it know that you're sorry for being an asshole. Ask it for a different possibility. Ask it to show you and see what shows up. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night, day.
Thank you, Heather, and see you all tomorrow evening. Czech
Yay.
Republic Prague. Oh my God, I can't believe you are here.
I know, I'm so happy. I love the city
Yay.
already.
Oh my God.
Okay. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.